It all started when I was applying to internships. I wanted my side projects to be hosted online so that I can seem more authentic to the recruiters. The two obvious options to host were AWS or AWS wrappers. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not totally against big cloud, but it has its quirks. They can be very unpredictable at times, and I didn't want my project to get DDoSed and get $100,000 bill at my desk. That's when I decided to try out something new, VPS hosting. Now, hosting a side project on a VPS manually is no easy feat. Say you want to host a simple Hello World application on it, you first have to install Git to clone the repository on the VPS, then you have to build it, then you have to start the server, install the dependencies. Say if you want security, bad luck, you have to install a firewall, then you have to install a reverse proxy, and after all that, hope that it works. And God forbid, if you want to change something to the project, you have to do the whole process all over again. Now, let's say you weren't hosting a one simple application, you were hosting 10. How cumbersome that process is going to. So I decided that we can automate the process of VPS hosting, and I built an orchestration service that does that exact thing. And I'll show you through an example. Okay, so this is the test repository that I built to showcase our project. This is a simple Express server that exposes one GET route which says hello from application. These are all the servers that need to be running on the VPS. So currently the VPS is my local machine because I couldn't rent one, I didn't have enough money, but these would be running on the remote server that you have. So this is the application front end, the orchestration services front end. This is its API written in Golang, and this is exposing a local route on my machine to the internet. You won't need this when you have a domain name, but for current purposes, we need to expose this route for receiving webhook notifications. Then you also need traffic running on your system, which can be started using the example Docker compose file I've given in my orchestration repo, and a Postgres service running named my Postgres. If you have all that running, your application should work fine. So it does. In my case, we can log out using, let's do that and refresh, and we can log back in again. Okay, we are. So these are all the old deployments that I have, and this is where you can create a new deployment. You need a clone URL, which would be the clone URL of your GitHub repository. So this one, port number could be anything. I'm exposing 3000, then branch is main in my case. Repo maybe this, right? And subdomain can be test front for now. So if we click create deployment, it would fire off a request to the deploy route. And what it did was it cloned the repo using that link into the VPS, so into my machine. And then it ran a service discovery on that code. So to identify which tech stack the project is using. In our case, we were using Node.js, so it might have identified that and created a Docker file for that particular tech stack and built an image using that Docker file, put some label so that traffic can identify it, and it has started it on testfront.localhost. This localhost would be changed by your domain name when you have it, but right now we don't have a domain name, so we are using localhost. Okay, I don't know why that happened, some state broke, but this is our test hack the chain 3.0. And you can see that we can also see the container stats. And if we were to look here, you'd see that we have a new image that started 54 seconds ago, and this is the container stats that we are showing off. So here we can also show the logs. Server started on port 3000, and these are all the, and when we visit the site, you'll see it says hello from application. Now if you wanted to, let's say, change something, you can set up a webhook. So in your GitHub repository, go here and then here. Okay, we'll do this. It's 27. Approve. Close. Okay, now you just update the URL or create one if you don't have it. We'll use this, right? And we'll update the webhook. So this would send a webhook notification whenever an event happens on this URL on the repo. So if we were to, let's say this is our repository open from application, say API, right? And we were to commit this, so commit, a very bad commit message, but okay. And we send it, okay. You would see, so you'd see that we received a push event on that deployment, and it started redeploying it. It started building, it's pulled the code from the repository again. When a push event happened, it created a new Docker file if it was necessary, if it's not updated the code, and ran the build process again, and it removed the existing container and started a new container on this URL only. So if we go here again and maybe let's say refresh it, it would say hello from API instead of it, because it's now, updated. I've also hosted other of my side projects on here. So this was my portfolio for my blogs and stuff. I hosted it here. Also tried hosting a React and a Node.js application. So this was the API for the application, and this was the front end. You can see we can log out and log in again, and the request will go to here. So this was it. Thank you.